Welcome back to the Tim Black Show. I'm your host, Tim Black. What's up, people? What is going on? Man, we in the building. The volume's turned up and so am I. What's up, people? How are you feeling? Shout out to my moderator, Black Mamba. Buck said they got rain. So Black Mamba, I think Black Mamba's in the house. Who's in the house, man? Black Mamba's in the building. What's up, Black Mamba? Yo, I was moderating earlier today, man. I accidentally deleted a comment of somebody. I didn't even mean to do it. You can't have big fingers and be a moderator. But thank you, Black Mamba. Thank you, Black Mamba, for being a moderator tonight. What is up, Tim Black's Wolf Pack in the building? Friday night. Fire in the Hole edition. Ticket to El Segundo. That's the bad chili. Fire in the hole. What is up, people? What's going on? My people. We are tuned in. We are locked in. I see I got my people, the usual suspects have come through. They've come through doing their thing. What's up, y'all? I see I got Crum in the house. Crum. I got M. Sparks and Lynette came through. Thank you for coming through. James Sumler, Simone Cherry, Anthony McDowell's in the building. Yeah. We did a live stream a little bit earlier with Pachanda. I did a live stream earlier, man. We released the full Dana in the Data. Dana with the Data interview, man. We had a good time talking, man. Anybody checked out the Dana with the Data special, the guest appearance she came on the show? Everybody saw that, right? It's 2 hours of breaking news, hardcore hit news, commentary. We break it down, man. It was a great time. Dana's a class act. We had fun. She got her opinions. She's bold. She stands on a square about what she believes. We had a great conversation. Great chemistry back and forth, just rocking it. I thought it was great. And so did the audience. So check that out on the channel and go find The Real Dana. The Real Dana on YouTube. She's The Real Dana 7, I think, on X and Instagram. Renato, what's happening? Elizabeth Looney, how you doing? Rude Boy in the building. MC. Rude Boy MC. Master of Ceremonies up in the building, man. Derek DeLorera. Derek DeLorera. What's up, D? Sherry Covington. Yo. In the building, man. In the building. Caesar.
Could you try again?
Stop talking.
Okay.
So we're doing what we do here on the Tim Black Show. And it's funny. It's funny. And we have a good time, man. We have a lot going on tonight. Black Fatigue Lies. The Black Fatigue Lie. We're going to expose that. Also, the Biden cover-up. Imagine being a Biden supporter, a Biden defender, a Democratic person, Democratic Party defender in a time like this. Just imagine it. Imagine doing that. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy, Johnson. The reparations roast, which plays right into the reparations roast. Jesus Christ, Johnson. Imagine defending that. They're going to do it, though, because they don't much care what happens to us. They just want an orange man down. Take down the orange man. He already won twice. It's over. You get that, right? You do understand it's over. Okay, let's check it. And according to survey says, we're going to cover the new polling. Man, I don't know what the Democrats gonna do, man. Everything they throw at Trump is like his polling just keeps. It's just like they can't do nothing with him, man. It's horrendous. It's like playing against Shaq in the early 2000s, man. It's like, what? What we gonna do? They went out and tackled him. Trump and Shaq. Remember that? Were you an NBA watcher around the time when Shaq was playing, man, when nobody could stop him? Nobody could stop Shaq, man. They used to come out, they used to do the thing called the Hacker Shack. Oh, I hated it, man. The last 3 minutes of every game or 2 minutes of every game, if Shaq was on the court, they just hack him, just hack Shaq and send him to the line every possession. If the Lakers had the ball, that's what they would do because there was nothing else they could do. Ladies and gentlemen, Shaq is Trump. And the Democrats are every team that pulled the Hacker Shack. It is what it is. It is what it is, Johnson. So look, man, we're going to get into, we got content galore, kinda. We really don't have content galore tonight. And that's because, you know what, guys, the sponsor of today's show is the Tim Black mug. It's my go-to sponsor because I trust these guys. These guys are reputable. I trust them. I know them. I can vouch for their products. I stand behind them. They stand behind me. I support them. It's the Tim Black Show, of course. Yeah. How my brother said, dishwasher safe, microwave safe, and of course, hater safe. Go to timblackmug.com and get your mug sent to your door for $20, no more. Do it today. Ha! Do that. Do that. Do that. My people, man. I'm feeling punchy on a Friday, man. I figure I just be me. Turned up a little bit, you know? Yeah, man. It's like, you know, these people, I don't know what it is. You know? Like, not everybody's cut out to talk to themselves for 2 hours in front of people. Not everybody's cut out to do it. They think they are. But nah, it's a certain skill set to talk to yourself for 2 hours. Got to be a little demented, you know, because no one's talking back to me. Every once in a while, my son will walk by, he'll see me, and he'll give me a little laugh, a little give Dad, you tripping. But most of the time, it's just me talking to myself. Yeah, that's not something that people do all the time. Yeah. So so it's a certain skill set. Takes, it takes cojones, takes a lot of courage to do it. And then to try to do it well, I mean, now we're getting subjective what's well. I don't know what's well. But I would like to encourage anybody out there that's interested in doing it, just do it. Yeah, just do it. And you can't just do it like 10 times. You got to do it 100 times before you can quit. Yeah, that's the rule. You can't do something 5, 10 times and go, well, I guess I suck. No, you're just green. You know what I did? I'm gonna give you something, man. No one helped me when I started. Let me give you something, all right? You know what I did to make myself better? You know what I did when I was first started? I did a challenge. Wasn't against anybody else. It was against myself. I did a 90-day challenge. I said for 90 days, I'm going to live stream every day. It's a 90-day challenge. And this is why I did it. I didn't do it because I wasn't making money. I was monetized, but I wasn't making no money with the monetization. Back then, you could be monetized, but it was easier to get monetized when nobody was watching my ass. Discoverability was horrible. But this is why I did it. I did it to get better because most of the people that I saw on YouTube were only going live once a week. So if I went live 90 days in a row, I would have, over a year's, almost 2 years worth of experience in 90 days. Now, it doesn't exactly work out that way because Well, you got to learn from your mistakes. You got to have time to do that. Just because you did it again doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be that much better. But let's say if you did it every day for 90 days, you be further ahead than the person who did it once a week. And after my 90 days was up, I said, you know what? Let's double up. And that, my friends, is what got me really going. And what happened was after that, I was kind of in a groove. It still wasn't that great, but I was better than I was. I had improved. And I had improved so much that people on the internet, people in various genres, saw what I was doing. And I got a shout out from a brother named Smokey Dog. Smokey Dog gave me a shout out because I was talking about dumb news. I was doing news, crazy news stories and things that were happening. And I just was like talking about it. Then I went viral and the rest is history. Kind of. But anyway, anybody watching and wants to get into this, just do it, man. People say that it may sound like a bunch of BS and people are just not giving you good advice. They're just throwing anything out, but it's true. It don't matter what kind of mic. I had a snowball microphone. It was a USB mic called a snowball. It sat right here, and I yell into it. That's why I talk so loud, because for a couple years, that's what I had. My setup wasn't a condenser, man. Not like this. It was a $30 mic. Whatever that was. You had to yell. Had to yell in that sucker. So anyway, guys, I want to grow on it, and may you be inspired. May you go forth and make content. And hurry up. We need more people that are speaking truth to power out here. Because we got a lot of sellouts out here. We got to drown out the sellouts. And if you got a calling to do this work, do it, because it's important. You change lives of people that you don't even know. You influence people. You'll be amazed at the content of the writing, of the letters I've gotten over the years. I get DMs, but I also get letters written by hand by human beings, mailed to my mailbox, about how I impacted how they saw life, how I touched them. I've had people put me in their wheels. People that were leaving this earth who were thinking about me and thinking about what we talked about and the times we shared, man. So don't take this. Everything's not a grifter. Everyone's not a grifter and everything's not a grift. And some things are real. And you can choose to be real. Anyway, that's just one to grow on, Johnson. Or not. It's free country. You can be a hack if you want to be. I will say this. Last thing, we're going to go to the show. I started doing this in like 2012, 2013, right? I started getting into more into politics around 2014, 2015, right? I don't think people understand that you change over time. Experiences change you. Experiences, working on campaigns, supporting candidates, being up and close and personal with the political process every day, looking at the news cycle every day. I mean, I'm not going to bore you to talk about the people that I've interviewed, but I've interviewed a lot of people. I've talked to a lot of folks. I've cared about a lot of content. I've cared about a lot of news stories. I've had a lot of politicians on the show. Yeah, you may have watched it, but when you do it, it's different. And so when people say, Tim Black, man, your politics has changed. Well, what's it supposed to do? What have you been doing for 12 years or 10 years that you still do the same way? Tell me what it is that you still do that you used to do 10, 12 years ago, or even 5 years ago. And you know what? I don't much care that you are upset about it, because I know I have to be me and I have to go with what I feel. So you might not understand it, but I'm just explaining to you. People change over time. And if you don't keep growing, you're dead. If you don't keep changing, you just like the only reason why some people don't change is because they got money. Like money may stop them from changing. You think money changes you. Nah, man, money can stop you from changing because now you got a boss. Now you got somebody to answer to. I could change up tomorrow and start covering wildlife. Yeah, you stop watching, but in 6 months or 9 months, I have a wildlife audience. I had a power to do that. And what I'm saying is, it's not the people that are not making money that you got to look out for. It's the ones that are. Because they're the ones that get bosses. And you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm going to stop. I'm just saying, Rachel Maddow and Joy Reid was talking the shit they were talking because they got contracts and they work for a network and they got a seat and a chair and an office and a staff and 3 mortgages and I don't know. Matt Lauer was locked in, man. But, you know, anyway. What am I talking about, Tim? Tim, what are you doing here? Jesus Christ, Tim. Paul, is that you? Jesus Christ, Tim. Nobody wants to hear. Damn it, Tim. Nobody wants to hear it. No one cares. Tim, do the news. You got problems. We all got problems. Somebody's living outside right now and they're watching their phone and listening to you talk about your personal beef. You're black, you're bald, you're on the internet. Big deal. Keep your hat on. Do the news. And stop interrupting me. I'm busy. Me and Fred Sanford are back here smoking weed. All right, guys. What do we got here? We got my people in the building, man. What's up, people? Who's that over there? What's up? Alonzo. What's up, Alonzo and Steve Butler? Uli, Christine's in the building. Yo. Trust No Party. What up, Trust? What's up, Tobias? What's up, Ebony? What's up, Quince Randolph? Yeah, man. We here. What's up, Tyrone? All right, y'all ready? I'm ready. All right. Man, I number love for y'all, man. Number love. Let's do it. Let's get into the first video for today. Let's go.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
You tend to criticize the people that you line up more, that you care more about, and that would be the Democrats for me. People lost trust in them because the voters were saying there was a concern. There were people.
Hold on a second. I thought she was a Republican. So I've been thinking she's a sellout Republican, but she's not a Republican. She's a sellout Democrat. Okay, that clears it up. Now I get it. Now I know what she's doing. She's going with the hot hand. All right, let's keep going.
People across the board saying they had a concern. And the Democrats said, no, over here, look over here. They told the voters what to care about, and they did not listen when the voters said they cared. So these stories come out aren't about beating a dead horse. It's saying if they could have a fair conversation that we heard you, we saw it as they saw it, they'd be gaining some of the voters back to say, okay, we're not going to keep saying that.
Do you agree with that? No, I don't. I think that I want to move on.
Yeah, it's because you lost and you suck and you don't want to take ownership or nothing and you're tired of hearing about it because you were beating a dead horse the entire race and you were backing a loser and you're part of the reason Kamala lost because she's such a bad candidate. You couldn't ask her any questions because she didn't know how to answer them. Yeah, so yeah, you want to move on, so you disagree with any accountability about your party at all. At all. At all. And if you believe that Trump is the devil incarnate, if you believe that Trump is the devil and he's Hitler, then you really failed the country. You do understand that, right? So you freaking blew it. Yeah. I mean, think about it, guys. Think about the hypocrisy. Think about the dim-witted, lying hypocrisy. This is what I'm talking about. This is one of the reasons why I'm a Democratic Party hater. I don't hate everyone. I don't hate everybody, but I hate this party. One of the reasons is they want to play up how dangerous Trump is. Well, you know what? You were what was standing between the country and the world and Trump, and you blew it. You all blew it. Blew it. And you don't want to be accountable for it, but you want to keep saying how dangerous he is, how he's destructive. Billions of dollars were blown by your party to stop him, and you couldn't do it. Not only could you not do it, not only that, but when people want to talk about why you blew it, you don't even want to discuss it. You want to move on. Folks, if there's some people outside waiting on you and we got to go out to get to our car, we're supposed to go out and get to the car together. We go together, we leave together. That's the rule the fellas had. That's how me and my boys rode. That's how we stood on each other's backs. We supported one another. Democrats don't like it like that. Now that they lost and let you at the mercy of Hitler, now they want you to be quiet. They got it. They ran out the back and jumped in their own car and left you by yourself to fight the wolves. And when you make it home somehow by the skin of your teeth, and you're like, damn, dog, where were you? I thought we were together. They're like, why are you bringing up old shit? Why you want to talk about stuff? Why you want to rehash the past? Hey, it just happened. It's just happened. Oh, here we go again. Every time I see you, you want to talk about the time I left you getting your ass kicked. God. Folks, don't tell me that that's fair, because it's not. That is scumbag activity. That is hypocritical scumbag activity. They want it both ways, and be damned anybody who allows them to have it that way. I'm not going to let them have it that way. You and your friends can. I will not. This is Fired Up Fridays, and we are fired up. Damn it. That's a good start. Let's see what else she has to say.
From why the Democratic Party lost, and I want to hear from the Democratic Party about how we are going to take our country back and how...
It's called 2028. It's an election. You may have heard of it. Yeah, you may have heard of it. Hell, you needed to take your, from what I've been understanding, you needed to take your party back 3 years ago because you don't know who was president. It damn sure wasn't Joe Biden. Yeah, who was presidenting while the president was incapacitated? Somebody was president. Folks, these people, look, man, I'm going to stay on there next. It's Friday, Johnson. Check this out. You're in a relationship with somebody, and they've been gone for 3 years. Somebody, okay, bad analogy. Bad analogy. It's hitting home for some people. I'm saying, Dad got to eat. Pop got to eat. Somebody been running the country. The damn show ain't been Joe Biden. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
They are going to do to combat fascism and what they're going to do to stop the Medicaid cuts that are going on, to stop giving tax cuts to billionaires, to stop taking federal workers' pensions away, to stop taking federal jobs away, to stop taking education away, to stop attacking our institutions, to stopping, why is this Trump administration stopping medical research, cancer? I want to talk about why this administration is giving refugee status to South African white Afrikaners.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Yeah, man, this is let me answer some of her questions. I want to be fair to Sonny. But before I do that, Sonny, how's things going with your husband? He's still in that largest class action lawsuit in the state of New York's history, where him and his friends were padding the books and helping pharmaceuticals make money by giving people diagnoses to get surgeries and other operations that were unnecessary to pad the books of the pharmaceuticals, and they were getting kickbacks for this? How's that lawsuit going? Because it seems like nobody in the media wants to talk about it. Just thought I'd ask, because I'm a concerned, viewer. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about all this shit you just mentioned. I've debunked a lot of the stuff that you're saying, but I say this. You lost. You lost. And that's what happens. You lose, and other people, they get to do their thing. If you don't get the job, somebody else gets the job, and you don't get to decide what they do when they get the job. That's not how it works. Yeah, you didn't win. And that's why I was bringing up it was important to win. That's why you don't run a loser. But more to that point, you listen to voters, and you don't have policies that are horrible that makes people not want to vote for you. Yeah, all the stuff that you say, that's silly. There's not even a lot of dudes that want to play women's sports. Yeah, but then why die on the hill of it then? Because we want to. Okay, fine. Guess you don't want to be president. Moving on. Move this way, people. Move this way. Yeah, when the rest of the country was going, hey, we need to get the hell out of Ukraine, stop sending the money. You were like, we need to send them more money. More money. And people were like, I don't like this sending money to this short actor dude from Ukraine where all the Nazis live. And you were like, so what? We need to do it anyway. They're like, okay, fine, you can do it. This way, let's not vote for them. See, that's how it works. That's how things work. So yeah, the evil Trump thing, it don't matter anymore. Doesn't matter. He's termed out. Yeah, he's termed out like DeSantis. DeSantis is no longer, DeSantis got to step aside. He's trying to let his wife run. But the Florida governor can't run anymore. He's termed out. So it doesn't matter what you say about him. He can just go. He don't even have to wear pants anymore. He doesn't. Why? I mean, other than he'll get locked up for indecent exposure. Yeah, man. So all the complaining and all the grasping and clutching the pearls. Oh my God. Oh no, what am I going to do? It's like, you all fired up when you should have been fired up, trying to win votes, trying to rally the troops, not by shaming people. The Democrats shamed voters, trying to shame them into voting for them. That's not how businesses that's not how business is done. Oh, and about the taxes. Everybody's getting a tax break, not just rich people. That includes Nancy Pelosi and all those rich-ass Congress people. And rich people like you and your husband are also getting tax breaks. It's not just billionaires. Multi-millionaires like yourself are getting tax breaks too. It's funny that you leave that part out, that you and your friends are getting tax breaks. All of y'all, from Rachel Maddow to Anderson Cooper. I wonder if any of you guys are going, no, forget the tax break for me. I want to pay extra because I'm a good liberal. We all know the answer to you and your husband on that. But my point is, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones unless they got that, that glass you can shoot at or throw stones at. You don't have that kind of glass. You got regular plate glass, that thin stuff. Yeah, man, these people, man, you know, it's nothing you can do with them. Well, guys, hit the like button if any of that makes sense. There's going to be more because these guys keep talking. Let's see. That segment went on and on a little longer. Let's see what the rest of the ladies had to say. Because we all know the view is so informative.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Spokespeople keep saying is, was there any instance that you can point to where his cognitive skill in performing the job as president was compromised, and they haven't come up with that?
What? How would they know who, like, unless you bugged him, literally bugged his office, had a snitch in the White House, could you really know these things? But I'm going to play a clip later on, guys, where people were asking Joe questions Joe could not even remember. His son, like, yo, it's horrible, man. We're going to get to that. I don't want to bring it out yet, but I just want you to know this is not up for debate. This is not, it's undebatable. Jake Tapper blew the lid off this sucker. In fact, I got the Jake Tapper. We're going to get to the Jake Tapper book too. These guys are denying reality. It's like, okay, here's the thing. We got one film of Diddy drop kicking the hell out of Casey, right? We got that. We saw it. That's all we got. We don't really know if he beat her up other times. We seen pictures of makeup covering up blemishes and bruises, but we weren't in the room. Like, only the people in the room really know, right? That's sort of how it is with Joe Biden. We got tape of him wandering about and don't know where he's at. We got a video of him on stage with Obama. He can't find the exit. George Clooney did a fundraiser for the guy. Poor Joe Biden. And George Clooney says when Joe walked up to him, Joe didn't know who George Clooney was. Do you understand what I'm saying? And we got her sitting here. And this is what ticks me off. We got her sitting here, Anna Navarro, sitting here like she's not the piece of hat garbage that she is. Denying reality. I saw a video, and it looked like, because you couldn't hear what it said, I see Joe walk up to this woman in blue, and he's talking to her, and she's looking at him like, I can't believe the president's talking to me. And then suddenly her face gets really concerned looking. She's like, what? And she's got on a blue dress or a blue business suit or something. And then Jill walks over with a security guard and says, hey, Joe, I'm just reading her lips and trying to interpret what it said. They get Joe's attention, and now I got it. She's like, Joe, come here. And Joe's like, huh, what? And the lady walks away, and Joe walks towards his wife, and then he walks from his wife and starts following the lady. Joe thought the lady was Jill. This is what I saw. Y'all don't believe me, do y'all? Y'all do. I know y'all don't believe me, do you? Y'all don't believe Tim. You lying, Tim. Tim, you just don't like the Democrats so bad that you will make that up. You will make up Joe Biden forgets Jill Biden. And what's sad here is I have multiple videos of Joe forgetting her that I'm seeing here. Lord have mercy. Where's it at? I'm seeing. Got it. See, folks? Now, why is it I'm able to find it so easily? Because other people Tim, have also seen it, and they titled it. Because it's not just you, Tim Black. They thought this was a little wacky. All right, no problem, Johnson. No problem at all. We'll just go ahead. We'll go to thing. We'll just pull it in because we have some non-believers in the house. We have some no's in this house. So now we're going to turn those no's to yeses. Let's go. There we go. Look at Joe talking to this lady. One more time for the cheap seats. The cheap seats for people. One more time for the people that don't believe their lying eyes. Look, she said, Jill said something to the woman like, look at this. Look. Oh, don't mind him. He's senile. Something like that. Look. Look. That's the guy with the nuclear codes. Or was the guy? That was the guy with the nuclear codes. That guy right there. And now I got to listen to Anna Navarro tell us we have no proof that he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know where he was going. He didn't know who his wife was. He didn't know anything. Yeah, I got a feeling he wasn't making many decisions. Somebody else is making those decisions. I'm pretty sure he couldn't even decide paper or plastic. But okay.
I hate these campaign books where people talk anonymously. If you were part of that administration,
hold on.
Spokespeople keep saying is, was there any instance that you can point to where his cognitive skill in performing the job as president was compromised, and they haven't come up with that? I hate these campaign books where people talk anonymously. If you were part of that administration and didn't have the gonads to speak when you were part of that administration.
Oh, you mean like you, a coward like yourself? You talked to Joe many times. You didn't know he was cognitively declined. You talked to Joe several times over the last 20 years. You didn't know he was a different Joe? Why didn't you have the gonads to speak? You got a talk show, and you didn't talk. I mean, you talked a lot, but it was all about Trump. If you thought Trump was cognitively declined, you guys would have did a show about it every Tuesday. Oh, and Wednesday. Oh, and Friday. Hell, Mondays too. But since it was Joe Biden, you didn't cover it at all. Now she's going to criticize other people who didn't cover it.
And now you are speaking and doing it anonymously. Frankly, I don't think this reflects bad on Joe Biden. I think it reflects bad on you because you are a complicit coward.
Or was there a culture?
Yeah, you mean like his wife, maybe? You mean like his wife? Is that what you're saying? You're calling Jill? Because she was just on a show and you had no smoke for her. No? Or were they lying or were they telling the truth? Yeah, you won't tell the truth and lose your shit job, but they're all supposed to tell the truth and lose theirs. I agree, they should have told, but Jill should have told, and so should have you.
Was there a culture within the White House that people felt that they couldn't speak truth to power?
Frankly, I've never been part of a culture that gets silenced. I have never been a part of a culture that feels fear. I have been a part of a...
What? You've been a Republican? Hold on, guys. She's been a Republican. Well, if you've been a Republican or a Democrat, you've been a part of a culture where you can't speak freely because there's rules. There are rules to that shit. She's a bold-faced liar, man. Man, if I get another sister in my DMs, and if I was cool, step in front of a train. I mean, don't really do it, but consider it. Do it in your dreams where nothing will happen to you. Maybe you'll wake up and be a better person. Got to be careful what you say on YouTube. People take you serious. Never step in front of a train. Just give all your money to charity, shave your head and become a monk. Yeah, can't get me for that. That's a positive. There's some no's in this house.
Culture that calls a spade, whether they are in power or not.
People
That's who I
are
am.
quoted in this book of saying they would be boxed out of meetings if they raise concerns. And there's very specific examples. George Clooney goes on the record to Jake Tapper and says he moved mountains. He flew in from Italy to do this record fundraiser for Joe Biden. Joe Biden didn't recognize George Clooney. One of the most recognizable, one of the most recognizable men on the planet. And now that's not a presidential duty. It's not the job. You don't have to recognize George Clooney. But does that give you confidence that in the middle of the night, if China's about to attack us, there's a war breaking out?
They're never going to admit to anything because they're all hacks. They're never going to admit it. Yeah, that's kind of scary. That's kind of scary. He didn't know who George Clooney was. I mean, not who he is today, but who he was when Joe was president. I don't know. He's lost weight since then, but yeah, you could pick him out of a lineup. Goofy.
Iran, that he is the sharpest person to be able to handle that.
Which administration texted war plans to their brother?
The Trump, but it's just like
Joe Biden.
No, but do we just keep lowering the bar because Trump is bad? Nothing else is bad because Trump is bad?
But
It's
that
like,
can also be true.
Yeah, but I have the ship has sailed. It's out in the ocean somewhere with Biden.
We have Trump
it's
because
over. Get over it.
Yeah, get over it, people. Come back to trusting us. Stupidly. Yeah, go back to being a dumb moron and trusting the people that lied to you for 4 years. And not only did they lie to you for 4 years, this is the thing, guys. Not only did they lie for 4 years about Biden, they wanted him to be in office another 4 years. That's what you got to wrap your head around. Even if you somehow can try to muster up the ability to ignore reality, like what happened for 4 years with Biden at the helm, you then got to realize they wanted it to go again. And that was Joe's plan. He was running again. He came on his show last week and said, I could have beat him. I could have beat him. I would have beat him. I would have beat him. I would have beat him in tennis. Something. I'm going on and on. I would have beat him. He just said it. He would have beat him. He just said it. Nancy Pelosi and Obama, Sandman simmed his ass. They went out. They went out with the hook and gave his ass the hook. And the only way they could do it is they said, if you don't step down, we're going to article, whatever that is, the article where they shame you in front of the world and say you're incompetent mentally. And we're going to do that. They had the pen. Obama's like, okay, Joe. All right, come on, Joe. That's it, Joe. That's it. You gotta go, Joe. Come on, Joe. I'm gonna write it, Joe. Damn it, Joe, you're forcing my hand. Don't make me do it, Joe. Michelle, tell him I'll do it. Tell him I'll do it. And that's the only way they got him to do it.
Trump because you guys screwed this up. With all due respect.
All right, but does it help to just keep going over the same material about Biden over and over again?
I actually think we have Trump because the Trump administration, Trump lied to people. I think that's why we have.
He won more votes. That is a fact.
We all know that Democrats didn't lie about Biden or lie about anything. Democrats never lie. We all know Trump's the only liar in D.C. Hey, look, man, I've been a Maryland, D.C. resident all my life, and I've worked in federal government contracting. I don't know if y'all are prepared to hear this or not, but Trump ain't the only person that lies in D.C. I know it's crazy. I know, right? You didn't expect to hear that. I know you're like, what? For real, dog? I know that ain't true. Yeah, you would think he's the only person who lies in D.C. There's a whole lying machine just cranking out lies 24/7. Crank it out, 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 crank it out. It's a lie. That's it. Not according to the women at The View, but guess what? The women of The View, they're also cranking out a lie machine. It's called The View. You may have heard of it.
I think he lied to his base. I think he told his base that they were going to, their overtime would not be taxed. That was a lie.
Actually, that's in the new tax bill. It's literally in the tax bill in
Congress.
Congress.
They had to fight to put that in. They had to fight to put that back in.
Oops, 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 oopsie doopsie. Oopsie doopsie. Somebody help me get my nose. My face fell off. Help me get my nose. Can't find it. Oh, jeez. Can't find my face. Look at her. She's angry. Her neck is hot. Boy, you can fry egg on her neck right now. She's hot, boy. She want to knock that white lady out my beat so boy we get behind this stage.
He had every intention of taking away that.
That's not true.
Now she said he had every intention of not doing it. He's the president. If he didn't want to do it, he wouldn't do it. He just put veto in her. So still like, what are you talking about? He wouldn't do executive orders on it. What are you talking about? This is how pathetic they are. Look, the thing about The View that always makes me, I don't know, that makes me chuckle. And that's crazy because, I don't know, Gen X, black man, from Landover, Hydesville, and Riverdale. I don't know if I'm allowed to chuckle, but it does make me want to, makes me want to giggle. That's even worse, Tim. Makes me laugh a little bit. You know what I'm saying? The fact that these people, I don't know, man. The amount of hypocrisy here. Yeah, I don't know, man. I find it funny. I mean, I used to get just mad. It ain't good for your blood pressure, and it doesn't change anything. You just gotta laugh at it, Johnson. Keep going.
Ran on no tax on tips, and it's in the tax bill.
Yeah, but it wasn't in it originally. I also
being
think
drafted
that a lot of
now.
people are, and Swazi pointed it out that it wasn't in there. I think the other thing that people need to realize is that they were lied to. Federal workers that voted for him, farmers that voted for him, immigrants that voted for him, they were lied to. That is why we have Trump, not because
and I'm going to give
any
you
other driving
Okay, I'm
force.
going to give you the last word. Go ahead.
Look,
Just like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I don't think these are normal times, and I think we have too much to do right now to fight the authoritarianism that we are facing.
Oh, yeah, because I'm embarrassed. So let's stop talking about this because it's bad because my team lost. So therefore, we don't really care about why we lost. We don't want to fix anything. No, we don't want to fix what we did wrong to lose. We just want to blame the person that beat us. What do we look like trying to improve our game? What do we look like listening to the people that vote for us? Nah, that's crazy talk. Let's just get in there and do what we did before and hope we don't run into a Trump. Then,
facing on a daily basis and the lack of due process and the threats on our rights to be relitigating this. And I think the reason that we have Trump is because Republicans are cut from a different cloth and they didn't mind. So,
the reason why you had Trump is you lost. Trump was a Democrat, just like you were a Republican. Just like Michael Steele was a Republican. Same person. Same person. Just like Joe Manchin was a Democrat. Same person. I don't want to hear this. This is the biggest thing. This the funniest thing. These people, sometimes they lurk around this channel too. And some of them, they lurk the internet. Like, there really is no difference, man. They're playing, they're owned by the same donors. In most cases. What's worse about Democrats is a lot of things. Like, for me as a black man, most particularly thing is, they just lie to black people all the time. I mean, the fact that, and they could say Trump lies, and Trump didn't promise black people anything, really. It's always Democrats promising they're going to make things better and do this and do that. And yada, yada, yada. And when it comes down to it, they just say, what did Biden say when he got in office? Before he got in office, it was like, I owe you black people, I really owe you. Then when he got in office, he was like, you need to be quiet and get behind the Latinos. You just shut up and get behind the Latinos. It's going to be more of them than you. You be quiet. Get over there. Stand over there. Like, I was there. I heard it all. I mean, I wasn't there, but I played it, and I covered it. So, nah, man. That's it. That's it, man. I guess if you want to live with your head in the dirt like an ostrich, you can do that. But if you want to raise your head up, pay attention to what's going on, and deal with the fact that reality is not pretty, well, then this is a place where you go because, hey, straight no chaser. Real talk. Friday with the fire. It's the Truth and Fire Fridays on the Tim Black Show. Don't move, y'all. We're going to keep going, Johnson. What's next? Yeah.
So many of them didn't mind in 2016 voting for felonies because they wanted
over there. So in a way, it's working. Both parties
how did Joe Biden violate?
They're still talking. I don't want to do this anymore. We're going to move on to Summer Lee.
Right, the New York Housewives show will continue.
He would have quit.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Has been exactly what does your resolution really aim for? Is it that Black Americans of a certain economic level, are they being targeted? Is it everyone? So basically, it doesn't matter as to what economic level. It's pretty much all Black Americans. What about those individuals of any race that have a lineage going back to slave America? It doesn't matter.
So to be very clear, whether or not a Black descendant of American chattel slavery were able to break into the middle class, they were able to do that despite the harms, despite the past injustices done to them. So they are not excluded from the reparation and the remedies therein. When we think about who traces their lineage back, that is again a debate that is used to try to silence the rest of this movement. It's a distraction tactic because what we want to do is instead of focusing on again what the system did, who did it, and what the impact of it was, we'd rather get bogged down in, well, should they make $25 an hour or should they be paid below a living wage, right? Should they have been educated, or if they're educated, that disqualified? No, they are Black. If they are Black and they're descendants of slaves, then they were directly in the lineage of harm. If they are descendant of Jim Crow policies in this country, they are the direct descendants and current living recipients of that harm. If they are living today, then we are still harmed by inequitable funding schemes of public schools. We're still harmed by being Black or brown or poor and living nearer to environmental hazards all over this country. If you are Black in this country right now, you are still less likely to be able to acquire a loan. The interest rates are still higher for Black folks who are attempting to buy homes or go to school. We are still discriminated because of our hair, because of our names, when we go to get jobs.
I think it's time for...
Oh, God. Okay. Yeah, when I was pointing out my reasons for my distaste for the Democratic Party, this is one of the reasons right here. And this is undeniable. Like, this is in your face. Right in your face, folks. There have been people that have been fighting the reparations movement for the reparations movement for 20, 30, 40 years. I've met some of these people. Okay. I've had Dr. Sandy Darity on the show, Dr. Derek Hamilton. We talked about it here. I've had a number of people that are active in that community. And I'm not a scholar in it, but I am an advocate for it. And I can tell you this, what she just said right there is treason to the entire reparations movement for those that actually want to get reparations for American descendants of chattel slavery. She just made it about anybody that was Black, and that's not how this works at all. If you came here 50 years ago, you don't count. Not for this. If you're discriminated because you can't get a home loan and you Black, not for this. But you're not from, you can't trace your direct legacy back to American slaves in America, then this is not for you. And the fact that they are floating this nonsense, it's only to dilute. They just want to steal, I feel they just try to steal the fire from this movement. Harness it for themselves. Try to make themselves popular. I saw this coming with Ayanna Pressley and Summer Lee and the rest of them when they started doing it. I was going to hold back because Summer Lee follows me on X. So I was thinking maybe I invite her on so she could tell us more. I got a feeling she won't come on now, but I got to say it. This is garbage. Nothing based on skin tone, color will get passed. It's been ruled unconstitutional. So this is just an exercise. If you say black, that's not enough. It's got to be lineage. And if it's got to be lineage, it's got to be American. It cannot be Congolese, Sudanese. Anything other than American will not fly. So to even introduce that into the conversation is to water it down. And then there's also the gaping, obvious hypocrisy that we just had 4 years. Summer Lee is not that new to Congress. She was here a year ago. Why didn't she introduce this, her and Ayanna Pressley, under a Democratic regime when the Democrats had the House? Why not introduce it then? At least you got one form of power in the congressional balance of things. Oh, that's right, because then you wouldn't be able to blame Trump when it didn't work. See, folks, this is all the rules. If those that pay attention know, well, we're going to have millennials or Gen Zs who don't know any of this stuff. They're going to be on TikTok saying a bunch of dumb things. Emotional things that resonate out of emotion and feelings, but aren't going to be based in reality. Nah. And they're going to think, oh, Summer Lee's fighting for us. And that's exactly why they did it. Also, to deflate this actual push for reparations. It's a dirty, dirty, dirty trick played by the Democrats in order to get everyone distracted and not look at the warts of the Democratic Party and to get people fixated on something that is set up to fail. Look, guys, the reparations battle is a uphill battle to begin with. It's a snowball's chance in hell to begin with. But you just melted the snowball, turned it into water by saying it's blackness, as in color, and you just took all opportunity from it. At least we could try to keep the snowball, everybody, do what we got to do to hold the snowball and keep it from melting as we go through hell. But now she just threw the snowball into the fire. Folks, nothing based in race is going to be constitutional. That's what we were saying about Harvard and the admissions and all the university admissions. This is something that's been ruled on. So they already know that. So what else could it be other than an exercise? That's it. That's all. It's disappointing, but this is the type of thing I expect the Democrats to do. Talk big, out of line, be loud and wrong, talk big when they really have nothing to lose. Offer you a carrot, put the carrot on a stick to lure you around and accomplish their goals of trying to get you back emotionally invested in some nonsense with them. No, keep your foot on their necks. Continue to deny them the privilege of being important because they are unimportant. Folks, someone telling you, hey man, when I used to work there, I'll give you the hookup. Yeah, but man, if I still worked there, I would have hooked you up. Well, you don't still work there. Yeah, and when you did work there, you never told me to come through and get your employees discount. So what are we even talking about? You knew me when you worked there. You had an employee discount the whole damn time, and you never was like, Tim Black, I got you, come through. Now that you don't work there, all I hear every time I see you is, man, if I only knew, man, if I only knew, man, God, man, if you'd have came just a little sooner. Nah, if you wasn't such a phony and a corrupt, fake backstabber, if you weren't so obviously a liar, you wouldn't be wasting my time telling me this. Nah, man, at some point you gotta wake up and smell the coffee and recognize who you're dealing with. And you're dealing with the Democratic Party, you're dealing with some sneaky scumbags. This is actually one of the dirtiest plays. Because since that Supreme Court ruling came out, and still do it, and still make that the play, and still publish this, and still no one like, where are all the scholars? Where are all the people to call out how this is a slap in the face to Black Americans? Where are they at? All the Black liberals are going to be quiet. They are. They'd rather go on podcasts, talk about other things, and try to embarrass working class Black people. They know the Democrats are doing this, but they would rather nitpick on trivial matters, small things that don't matter. This is where the big brains need to be working. Use the big brain to help the most people. And what's bigger than, if you're a Black American, you say you're an advocate for Black Americans, what's bigger than focusing on this? I can't think of anything, Johnson. The Black American experience, we have one thing no other group in America has, and we have the moral authority and credibility based on our lineage, based on the history that no one else has. And for real, guys, here goes something. I had a conversation with Shamichael Singleton, the CNN contributor. We had a great 2-hour interview. The first topic we talked about was reparations. And we talked about the racial wealth gap. We had a good conversation about it. I really want you to check it out. He was more upfront than Democrats. 95% of Democrats I talked to. So y'all can take that. I can't wait till that comes out. Let him shame some of these people. It's not about party. When you truly advocate for a position, it's not about party. It's not about the color of the tie. It's got to do with the policy and what people are willing to stand up for. All right, that's it. Summerlee is an embarrassment with this one. I don't know what you aim to accomplish here. I see through it. I think it's bogus. I think it's a play for recognition with a failing party that's underwater with its own supporters. We're going to get to that soon. We're going to look at the polling of the Democratic Party. They are that desperate. I know everybody down at your church still rolls with the blue, but your church ain't the whole country. And a lot of Democrats are tired of Democrats. How are you going to be on these at 30% approval rating within Democrats? So they're doing anything they can right now. I told y'all, if they lose Black America and Trump stopped that border, you will never see another Democratic president in your lifetime. Because the only reason why there's ever a Democrat elected is because of us. All right, that's it. We good? Hit the like button if that makes sense to you, if you understand where I'm coming from. Don't tread on us, Democrats. Stay over there with your bogus plays, your theatrics and your symbolism. People over here doing real work. All right, guys. Let's keep it moving, man. What do we got next?
For a bit of a reality check, right? We were going to late April. Donald Trump's approval rating, his net approval seemed to be falling. He seemed to be adios amigos. People were writing his political obituary. He is rising from the dead. Look at this. Hello, Trump's net approval rating among voters. This is the Reuters Ipsos polling. Look at this. In late April, he was 8 points underwater. But look at where he was in the most recent poll among voters. He's up 7 points to a -1 point net favorability rating. This is not the picture I think a lot of people were thinking that we would be painting in late April. I think a lot of people expected his approval rating to keep dropping, but at least according to Reuters Ipsos, it's in fact rising.
Put this then in a larger perspective, Harry.
Yeah, okay. So, this is just one poll, right? But let's take a look across an aggregate of polls. What are we seeing here? And I want to compare both to where Donald Trump is now versus where he was in late April, as well as where he was at this point in term number one. What you see is at -6 points, he is a little bit worse off than he is in the Ipsos Reuters polling, but he is considerably better than he was in late April when he was 9 points underwater. And more than that, look at this. He's nearly 10 points better than he was back in May 16th of 2017 in his first term. So what we see is Donald Trump's not just doing better than he was doing in late April of 2025. He's doing considerably better than he was doing at this point in term number one, about 10 points better than he was doing at this point in term number one.
In a vacuum, -6 isn't good, but in Trumpian terms, against himself, it's actually a pretty good position for him to be in politically compared to himself.
Exactly right. This is considerably higher than he has traditionally been.
So the big question here is why, Harry? Why did it bottom out? Why might it be rising?
Okay, why? Well, take a look at the chance of a recession. It's actually falling. The chance of a recession is falling. In late April, it was 60% according to J.P. Morgan. Look at where it is now. It's less than 50%. How about Goldman Sachs? You see the same thing. 45%, now falling to 35%. The bottom line is, it is the economy, the economy, the economy. As the chance of a recession has fallen, as the trade wars have kind of collapsed a little bit, at least with China, Trump trying to make a deal, we do see that I do think that the voters are responding to this, and therefore we're seeing Trump's approval rating going up.
The tariffs were really hurting him, and he backed off, and it may be helping him politically now.
Sometimes Donald Trump has some pretty good political instincts.
Harry, thank you very much.
Next.
Wow, guys. I told y'all at the start of the show, man, at the top of the show, I told you, Trump is like Shaq. Shaq, his last couple of years, he wasn't Shaq, of course, that he was in his beginning years. That's what happens. If you live long enough, you get old. But he was still a dominating force. And he may not have moved as quickly as he used to move, but he still got the job done. End of the day, Johnson, at the end of the day, can't nobody check him in the league. It is what it is, Johnson. You ain't got to like it. Yeah, he's going to dunk on you. He's going to power you in the middle. That's what Trump's doing. He's good at that. He's going to do it. That's it. You're going to, but he can't run forever, right? Shaq cannot play forever. He had to sit it down at some point. And J.D. Vance is not Kobe. And eventually they split up. Here it is, man. Donald Trump finds a way to bounce back. I told you, I said it. Go back and check the record, man. We done the show live. I said, look, all Trump has to do is make a couple of good calls on the economy and things will turn around. It's not a death sentence because you take a hit in a poll. As long as, what could happen? He's still president. He's got all the time in the world to rebound it. And he's got all the time in the world for it to go back down later and to come back up and go back down and come back. This is what's going to happen. But every time it happens, the Democrats are so thirsty. They're so behind. They're doing so bad that they can do anything except try to get a news cycle out of every move, out of everything. And all it took was Trump making the deal with China. Like it looks like, and Shemichael Singleton and I discussed this briefly about China, and it looks like, hey, if there's not going to be a tariff war against China, that takes 90% of all the negative talk out of the talk, okay? And that's what he's able to do here. He figured it out. And he didn't even have to do it. It might not even be the right play for his strategy, but it keeps the news cycle under control. It calms down the markets, and we're back to where we are. We're back to where we were before he made that announcement. We'll see. And Lord behold, I don't know, maybe it's possible you end up with some better trade agreements. I know you may not care. You just want things the way they were. Maybe your grandkids will care. I don't know. Who knows? But, hey, look, like I've been saying, the rumors about his demise were premature. Oh, God. Who didn't see that coming? If you still believe in the Democrats when they say Trump is done or whatever the hell, you ain't been paying attention. They've been saying that for 10 years. For 10 years, they've been crying wolf for 10 years. And here we are in their second term. And you're still listening to them. Every time they talk, you're still taking them. You're accepting their narratives over. Hey, it is what it is. I can't change your opinion. You're going to believe what you want to believe. Hey, what the hell? To those people that are smart enough to realize mainstream media lies like a rug, that the corporate media is on the take, and that they will just say whatever they can to defend the Democrats, defend the liberals, that their money depends on it. They care more about getting their money than they care about getting it right. If you don't understand that by now, I guess you never will. But for those that are open-minded, who just don't know it, take it in and realize that's what's playing. That's what's happening. They covered up Biden's cognitive decline. It's not a theory, it's a reality. All right, guys, let's keep going, Johnson. Where we at?
On deck with Tim Black. Next on deck with Tim Black.
So during this time when you were living in Chambers Road and there were...
This might be hard to hear, Johnson. This is the special counsel. I think it's Robert Hur. He's the one who interviewed Joe Biden back when they were talking about the tapes and talking about the documents and talking about, investigating Biden, basically. And the Robert Hur report, people were upset about it because it said that Joe Biden was cognitively declined. And people said, well, why did Robert Hur put that in the report? Why did he say that about Joe Biden? We don't need to hear that. We just need to know what his findings were. We don't need to know his opinion. He's not a psychiatrist. Who is he, a doctor now? And he was like, man, look, the guy couldn't answer questions. I wouldn't say prosecutor, but he'd be like prosecuting grandpa for being old. And it's just like, why do that? The guy just doesn't know anything. He doesn't remember stuff that he did. Not stuff like when was the moon landing or when did Starsky and Hutch wrap their final season or how many times did Omar Little get shot on the wire? Nah. What was I don't know, Spike Lee's opening line and, and she's got to have it. What was his signature line? Like, no, that's not it. He couldn't remember things in his own life. Bear with me. Because Robert Hur, the special counsel, and I don't know how they got this. It's been released. Axios. They released the actual portions of the actual tape of Joe Biden during the interview. And we just listened to Joy Behar and Anna Navarro talk about, no one knows if Biden was compromised. Listen to this, what you can. Everybody pull in and cut the volume up, please.
Documents related to the Penn Biden Center or the Biden or the cancer care shot or your book. Where did you keep papers that related to those things that you were actively working on?
Well, I don't know. This is what, 2017, 18, that area?
Yes, sir.
Remember, in this time frame, my son is either been deployed or is dying. And so it was, and by the way, there were still a lot of people at the time when I got out of the Senate that were encouraging me to run in this period, except the president. That's not a mean thing to say. I mean, he just thought that she had a better shot of winning the presidency than I did. And so I hadn't at this point, even though I'm at Penn, I hadn't walked away from the idea that I might run for office again. So if I ran again, I'd be running for president. And so what was happening though, what month did Bo die? May 30th, 2015. Was it 2015 he died? 2015. I think it's 2015.
Somebody's helping him. Someone just helped him and just told him when his son died. His son died in 2015. Robert Hur said, what'd you do with the documents that you were working with back then, back when you were vice president? Where'd you keep them? Because that was what it was about. And he said, oh yeah, 2017, 2018. It's like, yeah, that's when you were vice president. Okay. He starts talking about when Bo died and something. And Bo died in 2 to 3 years before he was vice president. He didn't, keep documents you were working on. Dog, he didn't even know when he was vice president. He didn't even, I mean, there's more tape, but isn't that enough? Isn't that enough? Like, it wasn't that long ago, Johnson. At this time, this questioning, this happened in 2022. I'm thinking this is 2022 when Robert Hur interviewed him. When did Robert Hur interviewed Biden? Interview. Date. Okay, my bad. 2023, don't allow. Anyway, guys, I'm going to say 2022, but this is, okay, during 2023, my bad. Audio reveals Joe Biden's memory lapses during 2023 investigation. So, 2 years ago. But if it's 2023 and you don't remember what you were doing in 2016 or 2017, 2018, you can't remember that. I mean, that's kind of bad. It's only 5 years, Johnson. Not 20 years. 5 years. Can you remember 5 years ago what company you worked for? You're doing better than Biden was doing in this video. And remember, guys, I'm not saying that makes him a bad person, though I do believe Joe Biden is a bad person. Can't nobody put their fingertips on every piece of militarized policing, every piece of mass incarceration legislation since the 70s or the 80s and brag about it and be a good person. And if you think they can, you and I got a fundamental difference in what we consider a bad person to be. All right? But he's not a bad person because he's damn near 80-something. That's not why he's a bad person. He's a bad person because of policy. And I'm not talking about this because I want to make him look bad. I'm talking about this because this is bad. This is bad to do. This is wrong. It's wrong that people enabled him to be this way, to be in office. There's nothing wrong. Someone said, Tim Black. They were like, damn it, Tim Black, is that right? So what, he's old. You're picking on him because he's old. No, nothing wrong with being old. But there are things you can't do that you may have been able to do before. One of them is be president. Nothing wrong with being 80. Just don't be president and be cognitively declined. Hell, don't be cognitive. Why? If someone had a mental breakdown and they were 45 or 50, they would be unfit. Replace cognitive decline in 80 with 50 in a mental health crisis. There you go. Case closed. What would you say if we had a president in office who had a mental health crisis? Who was got diagnosed as being schizophrenic or bipolar issue and wasn't taking medication? You would be like, well, you know what? Wouldn't make him a bad person. Or maybe the medication wasn't working. It would just be a reality that in your present condition, you may be able to do other things, but this is not the thing to do. There's nothing wrong with being an older person. If we are all lucky, we'll live to be older people. That's a gift to live to be older. Ryan Hinton would probably love it. Tamir Rice would probably love to get older. Okay? A lot of people would probably have loved to live long enough to be old. Okay? So that's not what this is about. Stop gaslighting because we're talking about age. We could be talking about anything. Hell, man. Some of your favorite sports people got to retire. They're considered old people at 36. People talking about Draymond Green. I didn't realize Draymond Green was 35 years old. He only got a couple years left in him to even play basketball. And no one bats an eye when they're considered old and over the hill at 39. LeBron is basically a senior citizen in the sport. Yeah, some things you can't do forever. One of them is have a damn nuclear codes and forget what you had for lunch. That recognize world leaders. For God's sake, forget who your wife is. when she's with you. All right, that's it. That's it, man. Just and then we got Anna Navarro talking about Democrats don't lie. Yeah, maybe Democrats do more than lie. They do more than tell lies. They live lies. Not saying Republicans don't, but this show is not about. I'm trying to get black people to stop voting Democrat like it's an automatic. Don't go run over and vote Republican like it's automatic. Hold your vote, be an independent, and make a decision. There's power in your vote. I know there are people that say if it was powerful, Tim, they wouldn't let you have it. Now they want the facade that they want you to have power. Okay, it's a facade, but we need to exercise it. It's just one thing. It's just one tool in a toolbox. This is a politics show. We care about that over here. Hold your vote and use it where it's going to benefit you the most, you and your family. Personal decision. All right, guys. Wow. Hit the like button if any of that made sense to you. I know it's tough for Friday, man. It really is. Tonight's show is brought to you by Soft Warm Classics. It's also brought to you by Juneteenth Apparel at Soft Warm Classics. They sent me a code. So if you go to softwarmclassic.com, go to softwarmclassic.com and you'll see a code there. Let's see if I can find a code. You get a free shipping code, which is important. Free shipping 25. So it's a special coupon for the Tim Black Wolf Pack. All right. If you go to softwarmclassic.com, I got a major segment coming up on Black Grifters. You don't want to miss the Black Grifters segment. So we're going to run this commercial. We're going to come right back, and we're going to get into that segment.
TikTok made me try Soft Warm Classic. Let's get into it. Y'all, this Juneteenth tee is everything. It's not just a shirt, it's a statement. The fabric, soft as butter. The message, loud and proud. From Juneteenth celebrations to everyday slay, this tee's got you covered. Soft Warm Classic is serving up Black excellence, and I'm here for it. Don't sleep on this, fam. Hit up softwarmclassic.com and level up your wardrobe game.
Booyah! Give it up for Soft Warm Classic. Go to, yeah. That's right. Go to softwarmclassic.com. Use the Tim Black coupon code, free shipping 25. And save some money. All right. I got my Soft Warm Classic shirt coming. I ordered mine, so yeah. Y'all ready? Let's get into it. There's been a lot of talk. Something's been buzzing across the internet. It's this thing called black fatigue. I covered it one time. I went to town. I talked about Antonio Daniels. He was defending this Scarlett O'Hara type sister, this white lady, complaining about black people. Black people, we're tired of hearing about the blacks. I never heard that before in my life, ever. Anyway, so guys, they done doubled and tripled down. So here we go again. Let's go ahead and address it. But this time, let's address the whole damn thing. Not just Anton Daniels, but also Jason Whitlock. Yeah, let's get into it.
To this panel discussion about black fatigue, let me welcome Anton Daniels, Boyce Watkins, Shamika Michelle, and Virgil Walker. Anton, have you been on the show before? I can't remember. I think you have. I know everybody. Obviously, you have not?
I haven't. First time.
Oh, well, welcome and long overdue. So glad you're joining us. And so, Anton, since you're the rookie, I'm going to let you answer the first question and then everybody jump in. I will ask, because there's so many of us, that everyone try to not filibuster and, I'll pass the ball back to you often. Let's try to speak in 2 minutes, 90 seconds, 60-second sound bites, and you'll get the ball often. I said a bunch yesterday. I want to hear from you all. And so Anton, I'll just start here. The whole concept of black fatigue, is this a real concept, or is it just something that's happening, or is it just a social media hashtag?
No, it's something that's been bubbling up behind the scenes for an extended period of time now. And I don't even think it necessarily should be labeled black fatigue. It's the easy way for us to categorize it. I think that it's more or less about N-word fatigue. And I don't know, I'm not going to go as incendiary as I would usually go on my own platform.
Yeah, because you love going on your platform and you love throwing that term around and talking down to black Americans because you're from somewhere else. You're not even a black American, right? Your family's from the islands, right? So it's easy to talk down about a group of people that you don't even belong to. Just because you're brown skin doesn't make you black American. So that's the first thing. The second thing is here, guys, it's really played out, this whole thing, where they used the Chris Rock joke. Remember the Chris Rock joke from back in, I think, the late 80s, Bigger and Blacker, I think it was, where he said, it's black people, and then, yeah, they've been using that. So I guess Anton Daniels stumbled upon this, and you think this is a highbrow moment. But people have been having this conversation since Booker T and back in the day. This is not a new thing. This is a more Frederick Douglass conversation. This has been going on forever in the black community. But this is what's important here is what you're really talking about is class. And until black Americans no longer only have about 10% of the wealth of white Americans, what are we really talking about? Look, the white median wealth is $220,000 higher than black median wealth. That's an inequality that you can't just move past. You shouldn't just act like it doesn't matter. No, that matters a whole lot. That's going to matter your schooling. That's going to matter the food you consume. That's going to matter how you educate, how you're culturally exposed. Money is not just to go buy Louboutins. It's not just to go buy a convertible and pose in front of it, whether you earn it or get it because your dad died at work, Anton Daniels. However you got the money, but it's not just for that. It's all the enrichment that having money can bring to you if you choose to do it that way. So I want to call
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
I want to call BS on Anton Daniels out the gate. Let him keep going because he'll have more for me to say.
But I think that it's N-word fatigue because all cultures don't necessarily deal with everybody within their culture and then categorize or become responsible for everything within a culture.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
You know, America doesn't blame all societies for all things. For instance, Irish people, all Irish Americans don't blame, or I should say, every group has outcasts. Society doesn't blame all Irish Americans for Boston Southie. Caricatures. People talk about it all the time. No, comedian Bill Burr talks about, because he's from Boston, people think he's from the Southie. And he has to correct him. No, I'm not from the Southie. I'm just from Boston. I'm from a suburb of Boston. So people get this type of thing, but no one goes up to every Irish person and do that. But what Anton Daniels and many the other people on this panel forget is that we don't control how we're represented. We don't control. That's the big takeaway. We're not controlling. We're not choosing to be represented by anybody. The media chooses who represents us. I didn't choose for Don Lemon to have a show on CNN. No one in the black community chose Don Lemon. No one in the black community chose Tyler Perry. No one in the black community chose Jason Whitlock either. No one in the black community chose these people. Matter of fact, particularly them, because we're talking about people that are prevalent in white media. We didn't choose them, nor did we choose what they choose to show us. In fact, when it comes to social media, which they're going to lean on a lot, folks, we don't choose what we see in our algorithm. Who's choosing that? Now, if you're smart enough to figure that out, you will know maybe it's being put in front of me, not because it's the dominant of what we see or what exists, but to dominate what they want to be seen. And if you're smart enough to understand that, and if you know a little history, you'll know America loves showing black people in a negative connotation, a negative light to make money. It was a whole period of blaxploitation films. For as knowledgeable as some people try to portray themselves, they don't seem to be that knowledgeable of how America works. Let's keep going.
Right? When you look at Asian culture, or you travel overseas, or you go to Japan, or you go to some of these other places, there are entire cities that are designated for the outcasts or for the people that can't participate in society, and for them to hold themselves accountable and to truly be able to do things that is conducive for the group as a whole. But
that right there was a bunch of words salad that didn't mean anything. What's he talking about? China. What does that got to do? Now, let's talk about the issue at hand. Jesus Christ. I don't think he even understood what he said. He just got lost in the weeds, just saying stuff, making it seem like it makes sense. That didn't make sense, fam. No one in China, I don't know what China does or doesn't do. It's a frivolous comment. Keep going.
We are one of the very few cultures, especially here in the United States of America, where we find ourselves somehow, some way having to patronize black businesses that's not necessarily anybody that we would rock with.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Once again, Anton Daniels, man, what is this guy even talking about? We find ourselves having to patronize businesses that we wouldn't necessarily rock with. That's verbatim. What does that statement even mean? I don't know about you folks, but I don't patronize anybody I don't want to rock with. I don't even know what rock with means when it comes to me spending my damn money. I patronize who I want to patronize. I don't find myself having to patronize anybody. Are you saying we are browbeaten as black people that we got to go spend money? If that was the case, man, if black people had to go spend money with black people would have more money. What's this guy even talking about? Does he even know anything? Right? He's saying we are like forced to spend money with black businesses. Nah, man, black businesses are underfunded. They're underfunded because it's harder to get loans. It's harder to get loans because we don't have the security, the equity, or the resources. We don't have the networks. Like, last time I looked, the venture capital, we get like 2% of venture capital money. Well, and it just crazily, we're only like 2% of venture capitalists. Funny how that works out, huh? Like 90% of venture capital money went to white guys. And then you're saying, well, black business is better. Money, being under-resourced makes it harder to employ the best people. Best location, best machinery, employ more people to make things run better with better customer service. A whole bunch of things would be better if you had more money to throw at it. Right now, I'm doing my editing and my graphics and my video recording and everything. Had more money, there'll be more people working for me. Maybe the product would be better. Let's keep going. But I don't know why people think this guy is on to something. He's not on anything. He's bloviating. He's just talking.
Or we find out later that somebody is not doing what they're supposed to do, or somehow we're not invited to the barbecue. If we don't find ourselves wearing bonnets at the airport, or when somebody is loud, we can't be very matter of fact and direct and holding ourselves accountable. We celebrate the most degenerate.
Hold on, guys. He's talking about bonnets at the thing. How about white people without shoes at the mall or at the like you know what I'm saying? Like that used to be a thing. I remember there used to be a sign in the 7-Eleven. You got to wear shoes. You know that sign wasn't for black people. But I know you wouldn't talk about that in tone because you want to go on Fox News for more with your girl, Laura Ingraham. You wouldn't want to talk about the hypocrisy, the flaming hypocrisy. You know, signs like gotta wear a shirt, that was for white guys. But look, man, it doesn't matter. This whole bonnet thing, crime and chaos are falling, for instance. Not rising. Violent crime is down 49% since 1993. And murders fell another 21% in 2024 to 2025. That's according to the Pew Research Center. I noticed Anton didn't list any data, just feelings, which is crazy because he's from the party of F your feelings. 6 of 10 top streamed rap tracks in 2024 were driven by white suburban listeners. Labels chased their clicks, not black degeneracy. Yeah, I don't know if Anton realizes this, but white people buy way more hip hop than black people, and they keep selling it. Those music industries keep selling it because white people keep buying it, not because we necessarily are we're not the driving force behind it. We're just the people that can make money because of our financial situation, that are willing to take money in order to do it because we need a way out the hood. Most of the rappers are trying to, or they see a career path that way. But let's keep going. Let's keep listening to Anton. I mean, I know at some point he's gonna make a point.
Of our society, whether it be our music or, you know, the things that we really champion and make famous on social media. And the minute that we then say that we want to have a difference of opinion.
He said that we really make famous on social media. No, man, for something to be made famous on social media, it also requires a push-pull. Those in the business know that for something to really go viral, people that like it and don't like it have to comment on it. In fact, the people that don't like it actually boost it more than the people that like it. So just because something goes big on social media doesn't mean it's because black people made it go big. We're only 13%, of the population. Are you sure it's black people making it go? Or is it white people making it go? And do you really care? And would you be honest if you did find out? All right, Josh.
In which diversity, equity, and inclusion is something that we champion within the black community, even though it doesn't really benefit black people as a whole, but it has benefited white women more than anybody else. Diversity of thought is only.
God, here we go, Johnson.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
He said something that made sense, and I want to applaud him for that, but it's going to be one clap because, man, it ain't black people that was pushing DEI. It was the Democrats. Democrats, by and large, are not black. Black people don't own the Democratic Party. They work there, some of them. A small percentage of black people work for the Democrats, or a percentage of blacks work for the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is a white party, just like the Republican Party. But see, it doesn't work if you admit that. Nah, man, black people weren't pushing DEI. No, we're pushing affirmative action. Well, we didn't know that affirmative action was going to turn out to be a boom for white women like DEI was. You did get that part right. But you put the blame on black people as if we control the DEI stuff. Nah, people have been lied to, and no one gives them the fine print that it ain't a winner for us. Particularly black men. Like, we're low on the list, the DEI list. So, yeah. White women did jump from 3% to 19% of executive roles. Somebody been winning. So let me get this right. Anton has to know there's a thing called the Google, and now we got all the GPTs. You can look up stuff quickly. I wonder who's been pushing DEI. Maybe the people that have been benefited from DEI. I just read you where white women had jumped from 3% to 19%. So when Al Sharpton and the crew wanted to boycott Target for not rocking with DEI, he was fighting for white women. Right? We could agree. I think you would agree with that. Right? I think you would agree with that, Anton. But you didn't articulate it. Instead, you put it on black people. It's if we control what the Democratic Party operatives operate. Like we control what CNN or MSNBC or ABC or CBS puts out or what The View talks about. We don't control any of that. We're victims of the propaganda for the most part. A few cherry-picked blacks are the propagandist talking heads. But even without them, they'll find another propagandist talking head to do it. They'll be boring like Jen Psaki or Dana, whatever her name is, but they'll still keep going. He just got to find a way to make it black, to blame blacks for it.
If it's somebody that agrees with you, because if you, somebody like myself that is a conservative or a Republican, regardless of what your results are, married for over 20 years, successful.
we don't want white people to know what's going on. So there's this, not necessarily defending it. I know it comes across that way, but don't tell anybody it exists. Let's not pretend like this is real. Shh, let's keep it quiet because there's this idea that it'll make all of us look bad. I agree with Virgil when he says it.
Ah, man, see this, and this is important. I don't know who this woman is, but I know she's Jason's sidekick. There are some people that don't want you to talk about certain negative things about Black Americans. And yeah, but I think a noble reason would be because when you talk about the things that are negative that you could talk about, and you know, we could discuss it if we want to really go there, we should talk about how it got that way and what are the solutions for it. You know, and most of the time the solution is going to have something to do with why the problems exist. So that we start talking about how we're going to resolve the problem, instead of just pointing at the problem going, hey, these people. See, I notice that when it comes, it's different with the conservatives. When they look at a problem that's with white folks, they blame the system. When they look at a problem with Black folks, they blame the people. The white folks, it's the system. With Black folks, it's the people. And it's not a rocket scientist. You don't need to be Mark Lamont Hill to know why and where that derived from. Maybe you don't get it. Maybe you think it's the Black people that control America and have created these systems, even though we don't run any of the systems. But for the rest of us that understand this, we know. I'm not saying you have no responsibility, you do. We should all try to do the best we can. We should all work hard. We should all try to work smart. We should all try to be the best people we could be and do the most we can do with what we have. Everyone has that obligation. Nobody should just phone it in. But come on. We can't give ourselves the loan. We can't get ourselves into school. We can't promote ourselves in the business without the resources to start the business. Like there's some things this is what being in a society as a minority are going to constrain you. And that's what the whole civil rights movement was about. And yes, it was a failure in a way, but it was also some positives. But the impetus, the reason for it, that's what it was. We didn't have any power, and we wanted some power within the system. Let's keep going, Johnson.
It's time to get back to shaming them. It's time to shame those, for me, in the grocery store, in their bonnets, in their pajama pants, in their being loud, in their not carrying themselves with dignity and class the way I'm used to my grandparents and great-grandparents carrying themselves. We have to start calling it out.
Yeah, you know when Black people was wearing those, it's always this goofy stuff right here. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Let me throw a BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
I remember looking at old footage back in the day that she's remarking of, where she's nostalgically going down memory lane of how Black people used to be. I remember when Black people used to wear suits and they wore the top hat, and the woman wore the dress, and it was down to the ankles and this and that, and oh, we looked so regal. Yeah, and they still sick the dogs on our asses. Yeah, and they still made our women be maids. And then when Black men were in the army, were making enough for Black women to stay home, they demanded that Black women go and work for them and continue to clean their houses. Yeah, because it wasn't about what we wore, sister. I mean, unless you're counting the skin on our arms and on our bodies. It's arms or bodies. You get my point. It's like you gotta divorce yourself from reality in order to listen to this nonsense and then spew it to the masses like you're doing here, sister. Yo, that cosmetic stuff that you worried about ain't got nothing to do with really what's going on in this country. You want the appearance of doing well. Hey, folks, a lot of Black Americans are not doing well. Sorry, that's the reality. Economically, a lot of white people aren't doing well. You're not focusing on that. Let's keep going. Let's see if she's got more points.
But as you are well aware that when we do that, we're told we're coons, we're Uncle Toms, we have sold out.
Yeah, you haven't sold out. Well, yeah, you have sold out, but you're also goofy. Look, man, public shaming will not close the racial wealth gap. And if you don't understand that, it takes money, 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 money. Talking about the moolah, y'all, now. Like, if you don't get that, we've had songs about it for a century, and you're still walking around thinking it has something to do with what color tie you wore, or somebody had starch in their shirt. Public policing clothing won't shrink wealth gaps, rebuild schools, or close health deserts. It just sells outrage clicks, which is why I think y'all did this panel. Either that or you're completely morons. So which one is it? Are you guys just looking to get paid, or are you dumb enough to think this is helpful? Black communities do self-police. Churches run re-entry programs. Violence interrupters. But pundits brand that soft on crime, proving the concern is aesthetics, not solutions. Yeah, when we try to come up with ways to police our communities without just throwing people in jail, then it's like we're soft on crime. But then when you're just hard on crime, you break up families. You ruin the structure of the nuclear family by doing that. So which one is it going to be, sister? Because I got a feeling you and Jason will make a video either way and still dump on the blacks.
That's the idea. And every group of people has a lesser group. Like, we understand that white people have white trash. The thing is, though, they don't go around authenticating themselves according to the white trash. And that's what we do as black people.
No, this is another thing, Johnson. That's what we do as black people. No, that's what you do is black you. Reality check.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Black businesses grew 57% between 2017 to 2022. Tim Black out. You hear what I said? Black-owned businesses grew 57% between 2017 and 2022. And that damn pandemic gave us a hit. That did hurt us. That set us back. Revenues jumped 66%. Sources, hard work sources stories rarely trend because they don't feed the algorithm. Respectfully, narratives date to Du Bois. There's never been a cure for racism, but there's always been a goalpost to move. Yeah. And that's what you guys are doing. There's no cure for this, but you keep moving the goalposts. We're starting new businesses. Now, because you got more TikTok videos, because you were on X and somebody black was fighting. Oh, no. That's what this whole thing is about, what they saw on X. Dumb. That's what Elon wants you to see. He knows you get a reaction out of it, so you can keep your goofy ass on X watching his ads. That's the whole purpose of his platform. Same thing with Facebook. They know how to get you involved in rage bait. Doesn't mean black people, we're not running X. But if we ran X, we probably run it the same way because that's pretty much the social media game, you know, to get people, a click is a click and engagement is engagement. Let's keep going, Johnson. This is good, man. I appreciate it. I like the fact the woman jumped in so I could give her the business too.
If you don't have a certain amount of hood or degeneracy, or if you don't celebrate it in some way, they'll say you're not real. You're not keeping it real. You're not authentic.
No, if you don't understand what's going on in the hood, you'll seem not real. You don't have to be negative. You don't have to be an ass. You don't have to shoot people to know people can get shot. Like, it's that way in anything. If you were in the military, if you didn't know what it was like to be in gunfire, like, you wouldn't have to be in gunfire, but if you're going to talk about the hood, you should know something about it. White people don't want you coming and talking about their country clubs and you never been. They don't want you associated with the country club if you don't understand the culture of it and what moves about. It's not a celebration. It shouldn't be a celebration. I think most of this is you guys listen to some hip hop videos or songs, and then going on X and feeling a certain kind of way because you feel you don't fit in. I got a feeling, sister, and I don't mean no harm. I got a feeling you've had this problem your entire life. I got a feeling you was never rocked with like that. You know, take a turn from Anton Daniels. I'm just guessing. It just seems that way. Yeah, man. And now you got a way to stick it to them people that never rock with you. But guess what? I don't know who those people are. Whoever those people were that rejected you, who told you weren't good enough or you weren't black enough or hood enough or whatever. That was a way for poor people to find pride in something that was pretty much depressing. Yeah, it's depressing to have roaches. It's depressing to be over-policed. It's depressing to your parents not be able to make enough income to move you out of a bad neighborhood. You know, these things are depressing. But it doesn't define all black people, no more than it defines any other entire group. But let's keep going, guys. Let's make it happen.
Not a real black person. And I think that's where the problem is because they actually try to use that to legitimize the rest of black people. And that's really silly. I've
called people not real black people because they weren't even from America. Like their roots are really from other islands and what have you. So that's one reason why. I've had black people that say they were black, then get a little liquor in them and be denouncing their blackness and say they are Cameroons or some shit. And then when I say that person not black, everybody lost their minds because they didn't know what I was talking about. They identify with being Latin American in a lot of their stuff. And then when I say you ain't black, everybody got upset because they look black. Listen, man, there's a lot of reasons for it. Then there are the people that are educated who are very much removed from the average black struggle of, and I say average, I mean, I would say from any lower class to middle class black existence. They grew up different. They grew up on army bases or in other foreign countries. Not knocking them, it's not their fault, but their experiences are not as a black American person growing up in rural America, in the down south, or in the cities in middle to lower middle class areas. It's just a different experience. All groups have that. That doesn't mean you ain't black. It could mean you don't know what black people go through who are moderate or middle or lower middle income people. You have no call of reference, you don't understand it, but you still want to talk for them. You still, instead of saying, hey, this is my black experience, I grew up this way, this is the way I lived, you instead want to talk about the whole group when you didn't even live with those people, when you come from a totally different background. That's when it becomes a problem. And to me, that should be easy to make sense. Like, you should be able to figure that out, but I think you choose not to understand what I'm saying in order to be aggrieved so you can run the grift machine and get some clicks.
I love the whole Chris Rock thing, and I'm glad Anton brought that in because that's what I was thinking. There are black people, and then there are N-words, and what social media has done.
What are you? Yeah, what are you? I got a feeling I know where you would put yourself. And when people start talking like that, that's when I say they are not black, because you are classifying a certain group of black people that don't have money a certain way. And I think that's what you're really talking about. You're talking about class. Why are you trying to make this a black conversation when you're really having a class situation? Hey, yo, I don't know if you ever been down south and been around poor white people and poor black people together. They sound pretty much the same. I mean, Paul Wall sound like, I don't know, the Ghetto Boys. Sound like Spice, whatever. Let's keep going.
It's just brought the N-words to the forefront that everybody can see it. And now we have to stop lying and pretending like it's not a thing, because it is a thing. And it's no longer, shh, don't tell anybody what's in our home. Everybody can see it.
Yeah. Cause.
Can you talking about? You still talking? Everybody can see what you're talking about. Social media. She's talking about reality TV. Before there was social media, guys, there was reality TV. Big deal. You know, reality TV was never real, it was scripted. And I don't know if you're noticing that, but a lot of stuff you see on the internet, like World Star Hip Hop, somewhat scripted too. And there are a lot of people in the country. America's a really big place, guys. America's huge. And whatever story you want, you can find it on any given Sunday. For someone who's been in this business for 13 years, 14 years, I'm trying to tell you, anything you want to cover, there's a story for it. You can create a narrative just by looking for that content. And if, lo and behold, in our new algorithms, if that's what you look and engage with, that's all they're going to continue to send you that. There's something happening every second of the day. It's so big. America's so big, you can't even wrap your head around it. There's everything good and everything bad all going on at the same time. Everything, everywhere, all at once. Take this, for instance. This is the graduation of Harvard School. Which school is it? Harvard School. This is our graduates of Harvard, 12 graduate of professional school, close out the Black graduation program.
For the breakdown presented by the General.
That's what they're celebrating. Oh, I guess because they're dancing and having a good time, these graduates, that's a negative thing. You probably would feel insulted that Black people are enjoying themselves after earning their degrees, their graduate degrees. I think you should celebrate that. You should cheer for it, not say they're degenerates for playing music. Next.
For the breakdown presented by the General Insurance, I have E.J. Reed, Morgan DeBon, and Ryan Wilson, three incredible entrepreneurs that have absolutely overcome adversity and built really iconic brands. So thank you.
This is Black Entrepreneurs Day. This was from 2022. Damon John from Shark Tank and from FUBU and other endeavors. Morgan DeBon, Blavity, Spot On, Right Where Gathering Spots. EJ Reed of Slim and Huskies are prime examples of the entrepreneurial spirit. Thank you at General Auto for bringing together this all-star team of leaders at BED 2022, Black Entrepreneurs Day. Yeah, we entrepreneurs, I told you, we jumped like 50% in entrepreneurship.
Rounds, good viable options for, young people to work.
The thing is, look, you're going to be told no. We were told no 97 times before the first person said yes. Yeah. And that's okay. As cliche as it sounds, if something is disruptive, if you're actually doing something that's new, then folks shouldn't really understand it.
Because we have a huge media company, we have the largest digital media company for Black and Gen Z and millennials.
Thank you, EJ, Morgan, Ryan.
Yeah, something to be proud of. I don't know what you'd be proud of, though. I mean, Jason does work at the Blaze, which is a white-owned company. He could go work for that Black company. Why won't he? Can't afford to pay him? Just something to think about. And last but not least, this is the University of California, Berkeley, proudly hosts a Black-only graduation ceremony.
Aramis Anderson said, "The last shall be first and the first shall be last." Receiving a Bachelor of Arts in Disciplinary Studies field, Political Economy, Legal Studies, and African American Studies. He said, disbursement and allocation, reparations for African Americans, and opportunity.
Yeah, man, I think part of the problem is this type of stuff doesn't get highlighted enough. It's not gonna be, I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. If you go to social media and you're hoping to see positive imagery of black folks, and that's how you're gonna judge the rest of the country, that's how you're gonna judge all black folks off what you see on your timeline. Really, Johnson? I mean, that's kind of goofy. What other entity, what other medium shows you positive black shit? Hey, look, guys, honestly, what other medium shows you positive anything? Like, really? Everything's a fight. I remember the bum knockout videos in the mid 2000s. Like, what are we really talking about? We got some grown ass people. These are grown ass people. These people here.
You guys hear me well now? Can y'all hear me better?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
these are grown ass people complaining about their timelines. We got 50-something-year-old men in late 40s or mid 40s. I don't know where Anton is. So this woman is over 40, maybe. They're basically complaining about their TikTok timeline not being positive enough. Shut up. Shut up and stop. Go, you know what? Make your next search 20 positive black things in your timeline. Only click those 20 positive things that you look up. Then guess what'll happen? Your timeline will begin to show you nothing but positive black shit. But no, you, Jason, you, Anton, are looking for content to make your rage bait clicks, and you seek out degeneracy so you can cover it. Like me looking for negative Democrat content. I'm guilty too, but then I don't get on here and complain and blame the blacks. Oh, that's right. Money. Let's keep going, fam.
first of all, I think that the root cause is a destruction of our homes and a destruction of our families. When you couple that with feminism and the fact that we've even championed, and I'm gonna just be very, very frank, when we've put women at the forefront of who we are, which me, I'm scripturally based, I don't even believe women belong on the pulpit.
Well, you know what? That don't have nothing to do with your religion, brother. You know, and just go to another church and don't go at all. You know, the breakup of the black family began way before feminism. You know, single parent spike began before the feminist movement. It tracks all the way back to the deindustrialization, the war on drugs, and the 5 times rise in black male incarceration. Yeah, mass incarceration had a lot to do with it. So a lot of things happened at one time. I'm not saying the feminist movement helped families, because I don't think it did. But what I'm saying, all of it is not black women. All of it is not black women destroying the black family. People put, and who are these people? Real talk. Who are these people that put black women in front of homes? Like, historically, man. Like, who did that? Oh, do you think that was us who did that? You think we did that? Man, we don't control the media because we don't control how the media is made and what's portrayed in the media. You know, I remember famously Esther Rowe from Good Times. Her and James had to fight. She had to fight to have a husband on that show because they wanted to put out her as a single mom. She's like, I'm not going to do this job unless I got a husband. Now, what if they would have decided not to listen to Esther Rowe and they put it out anyway without her? You know what? Then it would never been James. Because we couldn't get it on, that we couldn't be able to get our own show on TV. We would have saw another mod or whatever. There'd have been another single mom show. Like the one with Nell Carter, right? Did Nell have family? No, she was a maid. So I'm just saying, like, we don't control the imagery that you complain about. Dad myth. CDC shows non-resident black fathers are more involved in daily caregiving than white counterparts. So this black fatigue argument doesn't make sense. Well, it makes sense if you want it to make sense. It don't make sense to me.
I don't believe that. I hate when I hear people say that we need a partner instead of saying that I want a husband or I want a wife. When we've spent so much time pedestalizing, catering to, and trying to champion to a group of women that will sit there and throw in front of your face that they are the most educated, when in reality they're the most enrolled and the most in debt.
Yeah, he spent a lot of time on his channel arguing about black women and men and black, and there's arguments and fights. And it's just goofy. It's just rage bait. For a guy that's complaining about the imagery that's depicted by, that was really began by reality TV, he basically got a reality TV channel. Like, that's basically what he does. I mean, when he isn't trying to voice his opinions about politics, which he don't know much about, which always falls back into the same areas of being Tommy Sotomayor-ish, or I don't know, Jesse Lee Peterson-ish. He like a morph. He's like a weird Frankenstein of like all the worst conservative media in a like weird, like arrogant, I don't know, self-aggrandizing, like I'm amazing. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's got an audience, obviously, but you know, I guess there's worse things to watch. Let's keep going. I think we're almost done, Johnson.
And they're the most affected by what we see happening on March 6th, or I'm sorry, May 6th, with them now getting garnished and their wages are being removed as a result of them being the most educated in curriculums that we don't even need in society. The minute that we started following them to the polls.
So you got talking points, man. Hey, look, man, there are many negative things we could cite about degrees. You know, and I will, you know, it's true that people go in debt. That's true. But the average black woman with a BS degree makes $20,000 more than a black woman with a high school diploma. Now, we're still only making like 67 cents to the white dollar. That could be a fight you were in on. You could care about that fight. But damn it, if you cared about that fight, and some of the whites that watch you might not watch you. And I'm sure Laura Ingraham, your friend, might not decide to bring you up for segments. Because then, you know, you stepping in her territory. You start talking about black people supposed to have or should have, you know, equity. Yeah, you ain't gonna like that. Debt crisis is about predatory rates, not useless majors. I think we're done.
92%, and we started acquiescing over to them and started telling them that they're the queens of the earth instead of holding them accountable for following white women.
You're trying to be the anti-Dr. Umar. Is that what you're trying to do? That has nothing that you're talking about has anything to do with the effect of actual people's lives. You're talking about Dr. Umar's a great speaker, and you know, hey, more power to him. You know, I disagree on some things, I agree with. Hey, whatever. I'm not up here to judge him, but I will say this. He has very little to do with what goes on in people's everyday lives. He's one man talking on the internet. We keep acquiescing. Who is we? Who are you talking about? The way I run my family has nothing to do with anything that comes out of the mouth of Dr. Umar or Anton Daniels. And there are a lot of other black men who are the heads of their household, who take care of their families the best way they know how, and their wives who also take care of the families. And we are husband and wife, but we're also partnership at the same time. So we all use our strengths to try to get the best outcomes for the people that we have under this roof, which are our kids. So I don't get really where he's going with it, man, other than clickbait to get a bunch of pissed off incels or a bunch of pissed off black dudes to dump on black women or to find women that are, don't get it twisted, some women that are out of bounds and are saying some crazy shit and to just use it as content. And I get that. And I'm not defending those women that say crazy things and have horrible outlooks. Some of it's on purpose in order to generate what? A buzz for them. I've been on the Dr. Phil show just like you. And when they wanted me to do what you're doing, I didn't do it. When they wanted me to throw a woman under the bus to get clicks and views, I did not do it. Maybe that's the difference. I came home with my dignity. And when I did say something positive about black women, when I said, not about this black woman did the wrong thing, is what I said to Dr. Phil. He said, you get the last moment, Tim Black. You get the last moment, Tim Black. What do you like to say? And I said, Dr. Phil, all I want is people to know that this black woman who's made these bad decisions, she don't represent all black women. She represents herself. She doesn't speak for all of us. And he looked me right in the eye, and everyone's there. This is live on the set. He said, okay, you'll have the last word. And when they put that sucker out, they took out my comment. Because that's how Dr. Phil rolls. Now, I don't know exactly what you went on Dr. Phil to say. Only you know that when you had your Dr. Phil moment, Anton Daniels, if you stood up for black people or if you threw black people under the bus. And only you know that that moment, if you did stand up for them, if it exists or not, I know it exists for me, and I can say it loud and clear and threat a lawsuit. Can you? All right, guys. I think that's it. I think that's it on a Friday night. Then when it comes to the black grift, man, about the black fatigue is a black grift. It's also a white grift. Ain't nothing new under the sun. This white people been complaining about black people saying, if only black people would do this. If only black people would do that. I mean, this has been going on for hundreds of years, man. They used to say when they used to beat black people to death. Yeah, white women used to beat their black slaves and their slave children, the slaves and the children of the slaves to death, trying to correct them. And they used to say, they even came up with a law, if I'm not mistaken. They came up with a law that made it not illegal to kill your slaves. Nothing. Because white women just kept killing them. And they would always say the same thing. It's, oh, if only she would have moved when I said move. If only they would listen more. If only they wouldn't do this. And it continues to this day. That's the go-to. Oh, if only black people didn't do this, didn't do that. Yeah, it's just, you guys are not trying to solve the problem. You're just trying to benefit off of it. And that's a pathetic thing to do. It still continues. And you're the culprits. That's what's happened with social media. Social media and independent media has given the ball to any Tom, Dick, and Henry, or any Anton, Jason, and pissed off black sister who I don't know, to now get a platform and do the same thing the whites used to do 20 years ago. All right, guys, my name is Tim Black. Let's go to the comment section. Hit the like button if that makes sense for you. The black fatigue is a black grift run by conservatives trying to make money off the whites. And for the record, when I say grift, they're grifting the whites. White people, the grift is being run on you. You're the trick. They're not grifting us, they're grifting you. We know the truth. We all know the truth. Well, most of us know the truth. Hit the like button on the algorithm. Let them know you watched the Tim Black Show. Let's go to comments. Alonzo became a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack. Thank you, Alonzo. M. Sparks is in the building. Thank you, M. Sparks, for supporting the show. Trust No Party is in the house doing what he does, or they do. Thank you, Trust. Elizabeth Looney in the building. Thank you, Elizabeth. Black Mamba came through. Thank you, Black Mamba, for supporting the show as always. Sherry Covington with a super sticker. Thank you, Sherry Covington.
You'll need to add contact information for Wilson. Do that.
And Black Mamba gave out a gift. Thank you, Black Mamba. And we appreciate you. All right, guys. Thank you guys for showing up tonight. It's been a busy week. Remember, man, next week, I'm going to debut my interview with Michael Singleton. We're going to chop it up. We chopped it up, had a great conversation. You got to email me at tim@timblack.tv.com because I got to bring on more great guests. So let's bring them on, fam. Let's make it a thing. Let's keep it going. Your suggestions help me find better people to bring on for you guys. For those that are members of the Tim Black Show, thank you for your support. Thanks for keeping the lights on around this joint. Become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack. Sign up on the Tim Black Show level for the Tim Black Legacy mug. Do that for 3 months to get a free mug sent to your door. Or buy a mug for $20 at timblackmug.com. timblackmug.com. Join Tim Black Show as a Wolfpack member and join timblack.com. That's a lot of things. I should just gave you one thing. Yeah, they say if you give people too many options, they choose none. Go to jointimblack.com. How about that? That's it. That's all I got, man. Nothing but love, fam. Y'all have a good weekend. Be safe. Greetings, Derek. Yo. Greetings. Yeah. Have a good evening. The town I live in. The town I live in. Thank you, the town I live in. I appreciate you. You stay cool too, M. Sparks. Renee Gurley says, I wish they go home and leave us alone. Go home to the caves, I'm sorry. Go home to wherever the home is for them. They need to go ahead. Bounce already. Panel in the house. Thank you. Panel in the house. Duke, what's up, fam? Thank you, Duke. I appreciate you, family. MB, according to them, we'll never be good enough. No, we won't. That's it. Because if we were, how can they justify how we get treated? It's psychological. It's like they have to find a way to discredit us, or they owe us. But see, most of us aren't going to fall for it. And that's the rub. All right, guys, remember, don't let anybody take your cornbread. And I mean anybody. Keep your cornbread. All right? All right, now that's it. Like I always say, where are my ladies at? Where are my ladies? Oh, there they go. Oh, damn, Johnson. Did I do it? Hold on a second. Did I upload it? Let's see if I got it. Everybody hasn't seen it, man. They deserve a laugh today. As if I got it. Damn it, I don't see it, man. Let's see. Come on, Tim, see if it's over here. It's over here. No idea that Derek Chauvin should walk. This whole idea that Derek Chauvin should walk is garbage. Okay? He ain't walking anywhere except into another prison cell in Minnesota. Okay? That's where he's walking to.